Hey, it's the latest and greatest episode of Garden Style, coming up next. Hi, I'm Alan Smith. Welcome to Garden Style, a show where we look at fantastic ways to grow, cook, and design your world. All right, in today's show, we're going to focus on some fun and innovative products that will most assuredly make your life in the kitchen, in the garden, and in the home that much more enjoyable and efficient. We'll travel to St. Louis to check on a growing trend in most cities. That's the community garden. Then chefs from different cities will tell us what's happening in the culinary arts. And a little later, some of the newest ideas in fabrics that you'll want to use in your upcoming design projects. All of this awaits just after this quick break. Have you ever thought about joining a community garden? Well, you might want to ask some folks who've been involved. As far as I'm concerned, it's always best to go right to the source to get your information. Congratulations.
I would encourage anyone to come out and garden because it's such a peaceful thing. It's the best therapy I know. You don't.
It's a beautiful thing to do. I do this all day, garden. Every day I go from garden to garden.
When I found out about it, I thought it was such a great concept. And I think it is a wonderful community of people. It is just a neat group of people.
Gateway Greening's been around since for 28 years. So
28.
This garden is our oldest garden and really the hub of community garden life in St. Louis. The model that Gateway Greening employs is that we don't do gardens ourselves. We support community gardens.
I see.
And it's important because we believe in a ground-up model where neighbors come together to create a community garden and not have an outside organization impose the garden on a neighborhood.
So the kinds of things that Gateway Gardening provides then would be some resources, education, that kind of support.
Correct. We have a grant cycle each year that we provide funding to build raised beds and to fill them with soil. We have hoop houses that we maintain to grow out seedlings for the gardens.
So you get them set up and then folks jump in and they do the gardening themselves.
Correct, and they establish the character of the garden.
How many other community gardens are there in the greater St. Louis area?
We have roughly 210 community and youth gardens around the metro area that we support. And when you come to each of them, again, they each have their own culture and characteristics.
And I'm so excited that now you all are bringing chickens into the whole Gateway Greening idea.
We are, and it's just to piggyback onto the community gardening concept that you can share the responsibility and share the yield of a project.
Yeah, well, it's just terrific. Keep up the great work, and thank you for your time today.
For joining us.
Annie, what's it like to be leading the charge in an urban situation like this? I mean, you're actually doing farming right here in an urban area.
It's actually wonderful. I mean, I feel like I get a front row seat at seeing individual transformations at the farm, in the garden. Just the way food and growing affects people.
Sure.
Magical things can happen.
Isn't it a beautiful thing how the garden can often help someone find themselves, see greater clarity, and actually help them reinvent themselves?
I've seen some, as I mentioned, amazing transformations. People that kind of just come to the program maybe because their parole officer told them to, or they had to do it for one reason or another, and then they make a 180. And a team atmosphere going, we're producing food. I think a lot of it has to do with giving back to the community. They see that they're part of something tangible, physical, where they're growing food, and then the distribution, where they see how their work really contributes to other people's food security, nutrition, and just the greater good across St. Louis.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for all the hard work that you're putting behind this program and leading the charge. Great
It's a group
pleasure.
effort.
Yeah, very good. Thank you. Most gardeners have come to know perennials as their perpetual problem solvers because they come back to do the same job year after year. And the 5 newest additions to my Platinum collection are no exception. If you're looking for maximum impact in a sunny area, Hemerocallis Primal Scream will do just the trick with its shimmering tangerine blooms that are over 8 inches in diameter. For something just as fun, but a little more compact, look no further than the other new daylily this year, Hemerocallis Going Bananas. It too performs well in full sun, but this little one will only grow to about 20 inches tall. It's the perfect companion plant for this year's Leucanthemum Banana Cream. This little Shasta daisy not only loves the sun, but provides both complementary color and height. Now for great color and texture in your sunny bed, Panicum Cheyenne Sky is an ideal choice. And if you need a plant that can bring light into those dark, shady places, you want to try my newest addition of hosta called Autumn Frost. It'll really lighten those shade beds. And no matter what you're looking for in a perennial, end of season care couldn't be easier. What you want to do is just add a 2 to 3 inch layer of mulch, taking care to keep it away from the crown of the plant. You see, the mulch will keep the soil from freezing and thawing so much. And by keeping the mulch away from the crown, it will prevent the crown from actually rotting. In the spring, pull the mulch back as new growth emerges and enjoy it for years to come. When visiting restaurants throughout the U.S., I've learned a lot about new trends in cooking. A few of my favorite chefs will show you what's new in their kitchens.
Everybody's all wound up and excited about moving towards local providers, local sources, heritage pork, heritage this, heritage that. But the truth is, it may not always be the best. So be careful out there. I've had some heritage pork that was tough and gamey. On the other hand, it's a great direction to move in, and independent restaurants and chefs have done a great job of moving that dialogue to where now the big growers are going in that direction, and that'll bring the price down and the quality up, and we'll all have better, healthier, and safer food.
Here at Firebox Restaurants, what we feel is the latest in techniques and trends of what's going on in the cooking world is eating locally, eating seasonally. We're dedicated to using whatever local produce, locally foraged mushrooms, seafood that we can get our hands on around here, and cooking truly within the seasons. Makes it a little difficult in the wintertime, but what we're lucky in New England is that our seasons are short, but very plentiful, and the turnover is great. So we can change things at 3 to 4 days a week. We're lucky to have a farmer's market right here. Get to go there every Thursday and see what the garden has and bring it to the table as fast as possible.
So here in Chicago, I think some of the basic trends that you're seeing these days in food, and I think across the country, is taking food and not putting it all in one dish together. You're building different elements, like the fresh peas that we have right on top. Well, the actual risotto is finished with fresh pea puree. So you're creating a couple different textures, mouthfeels, and flavors. In our octopus dish, we're looking at the same thing. The dish is based on octopus and tuna, but the real star of the show is our local carrots, and these carrots come from our garden. But you have carrots prepared 3 ways, but it's the exact same carrot. We have a little bit of blanched carrot right here that we do in aji mirin. We have some just fresh shaved carrot. We have a little carrot puree on the side. So what you're doing is you're taking ingredients that you might see 1 or 2 times in a dish, and you're creating it 4, 5, 6 times in a dish, and you're creating different textures, different flavors, different mouthfeels. And I think that's the real trend. Not building food all together, is kind of putting the food in separate places and hitting that pea in different ways. And I think that's where food's going.
Hi, I'm Abby Kirby, and I work at Cynthia East Fabrics, and I'm here to talk about a couple of upcoming trends in 2013. The biggest thing right now is pattern. Patterns of all colors are put together in rooms with accessories and fabrics. People are covering entire sofas and chairs in patterns, and they're not afraid to mix it. It's lots of fun, and it adds to a comfortable atmosphere and it looks great. This is a popular design. It's called an e-cot, and it's determined an e-cot because of the rainy design. Kind of looks like it's dripping. Another popular design that goes with it is the velvet geo is what we call it, but this little geographic looks great in all sorts of situations. Chairs, pillows, ottomans, and this is a great color to start with because it won't show a lot of dirt or wear. Then we have this, it was kind of a spin-off of a quatrefoil. It has the 4 points here. And this has been great. People have used it in drapery and even bordering pillows. You'll also see this in a lot of rugs. This is a piece I might choose as a color key for a whole room. Say it's sitting in a large chair or something, and it would kind of dictate, you know, what kind of pillows I would use. Here I've used a lot of orange and grays, which you can see the primary color in this is orange. But I might pick out like a less prominent color for the walls, or maybe an accent in another room leading to this room. Like this aqua blue or kind of seafoam green, or even this understated kind of purpley color here. It sets the piece off and really showcases it and gives a nice flow to your interiors. As you can see, we're repeating the e-cot look again with this pattern here. And these colors look really good sitting on this neutral palette, which has been another really hot trend. Linen has been very popular for upholstery. Even though it's been lightweight, they've been mixing it with polyester fibers and making it stronger and easier to clean. And a lot of the tones are in the grays, which has been a very popular color. It shows off lots of brightness, and even you can use more subtle pastels and it still looks fabulous. And this brings us to another really popular pattern, the chevron. You see it everywhere. It's in pillows, clothing, drapery, bedding, and as you can see right here, rugs as well. It's wonderful because not quite a stripe, it's not quite a circle. It's one of those things that you can throw in just a little bit of or a whole lot, and it looks fabulous. So remember, in 2013, the trends are tribal patterns, lots of them, lots of color, starting on a beautiful canvas of many shades of gray.
Hey, have you ever considered making some of your own soy milk? Hey, it's really easy, and it's a hot trend going on right now. It's very inexpensive. If you have someone in your family who is lactose intolerant, it's a beautiful way to serve up something homemade for them, and this is a heart-healthy beverage. We're going to talk about two ways to create soy milk today, and they both start with a similar process. What you're going to do is you're going to start with just a half a cup of beans. This half a cup of beans, well, costs about 30 cents. If you're going to the grocery store and you buy half a gallon of soy milk, you're going to pay about $3.50. So, hey, you do the math. All you do is you take these dried beans and you just wash them off. Once they're washed, you place them in a bowl, and then you just put about 2 inches of water over them and let them sit overnight, about 8 to 10 hours. The beans will go from this to this. You can see how they've completely hydrated. Now, what I want to do is start with the traditional way of making soy milk. You're just taking a blender and you're going to blend the beans with water. And I'm going to add the beans. And I'm going to take 6 cups of water. And what we want to do is we want to bring as much of the beans into solution as possible. Okay, it's as simple as that. And what we've done is we've introduced all of those soybeans into a solution. And now what I want to do is I want to take this mixture and I want to strain it through cheesecloth. So I'm just going to pour this through the cheesecloth like this. All right, there we go. And now what I want to do is I want to pour this soy and water blend in a pot. And I'm going to bring this to a boil. I'm going to let it boil for about 2 minutes. I'm going to place it on medium heat. Now while this heats up, I want to show you the abbreviated method. It's a little easier. What we're going to do is use a soy milk maker. These are really handy. They run in price from about $100 to $200, but think about it. If you're drinking, say, a gallon of soy milk a week, well, you'll pay for this in probably 6 months. So, all right, what we're going to do is we're going to bring the water level up in here just to the indicated place. And then what I'm going to do is take that same volume of soybeans, that half a cup of soybeans that have been hydrated, and just add them. The next thing, all you do is put the top on the processor, line it up with the arrows like this, make sure it's plugged in. There we go, and press go. Now what you'll find is it takes about 20 minutes to produce the soy milk here. While this is going on, why don't we step back and see how our traditional method is coming along. Foam is developing in here, and what you want to do is you want to remove that foam. A lot of that little soybean particulate is rising up in this foam, and you just want to lift that off. All right, that's about the last bit of foam I need to take out of this. It's time to turn this off. And what we'll want to do is allow this to cool, and then we need for it to cool both in this very traditional method and also with the processor. Now here's where you can add your own signature, because I think that soy milk is better slightly sweetened or flavored. So you can flavor it with almond extract or vanilla extract, honey even, also even chocolate syrup. So here's where you can have a little fun. The other point I want to make is that a byproduct of this process is creating okara. And okara is really the soy fiber that we just squeezed all the milk out of, and so you're left with this. It's fiber rich, protein rich, and is great for cooking. So you want to make sure that you put this to use. As you can see, there are 2 simple ways to make your own soy milk. Just another way to create something at home from the miracle bean. Give it a try. I've had a lot of fun looking at some of the latest trends, and I hope you've picked up some that you can apply to your life as you grow, cook, and design your world. And if you come up with some ways that, well, these have influenced your style, I'd love to hear about them. So post them on my Facebook page. Until next time, for Garden Style, I'm Alan Smith.